Welcome to Maxim's Inside Track for another edition. A very positive result on the GDT platform, up 3% as a headline number, and all products up. This was not as the futures had predicted, but a very buoyant result for Oceania Dairy. We're starting to see these prices lift pretty consistently now. COVID is still a challenge. Melbourne, I think you're getting a reprieve this afternoon and coming out of your 5-day lockdown, so good luck with that. Still seeing shipping delays around the world. Talk out of the US that there is limited container availability, also some weather challenges, some pretty significant snowstorms over there as well, which will also delay dairy out of the US in particular. We're still seeing challenges even out of New Zealand, so hopefully we can get some reprieve in the next 2-3 months coming into a quieter period, but that'll remain to be seen. There is talk of some strike action down in the Melbourne terminal as well. So some challenges around importation of dairy product well around the world. We're seeing global milk flows up just under 2%, 1.7 to 1.8%. So still solid milk flows, in particular out of the US, New Zealand. Although November down, December coming up slightly. So and starting to see a little bit of rain in the North Island. So still that will assist with milk flows into the shoulder of the season. On to full cream milk powder now. Extremely strong demand on the GDT platform once again. We've seen it come up another 4%. We're now sitting at 7-year highs out of Oceania. It just seems to be such strong demand for this product. High internal milk prices in China, a very strong RMB to the USD. The government over there espousing the nutritional benefits of dairy, I think, has also led to increased demand. China in particular, the importation of dairy is up from 20 to 30% across the board and across a whole range of dairy products. So that market really holding up dairy prices around the world. 7-year highs. The futures market had a bit of a sell-off the last couple of days prior to coming into this GDT event, and predicting that further out that we may see a softening, but that certainly didn't occur, and demand has remained extremely strong. There was some talk of less demand with Chinese New Year and Chinese holidays, but that certainly didn't happen, and also some talk around milk flows in New Zealand or the North Island drying out and potentially hampering supply going into the shoulder of the season, but they have had some solid rain, and there is moisture back in the ground over there. So whole milk powder pretty strong and positive for the moment. On to skim milk powder now. Another interesting result on the GDT, up slightly. EU started to drift off a little bit with skim. It sort of feels stable-ish. There is some talk around anywhere from 100,000 to 200,000 tonne of skim out of India coming onto this market, which I believe is probably keeping a little bit of a lid on it. I must admit I thought it would drift off a little bit further than it has, but feeling reasonably stable-ish. We are seeing a disparity from Oceania to EU of about US $400 a tonne. So obviously demand in particular for New Zealand origin product is firm and keeping prices up. Still not sure, sideways-ish, maybe even a bit of pressure on the downward side on skim milk powder in the next 3 to 4 months. Fats now, butter and AMF. A positive result on the GDT again. It keeps pushing these Oceania prices to very strong high prices. We are seeing the US fat market relatively weak over there. Retail demand is also flat, and then challenges around food service and opening up, and limited demand there as well. So thankfully they've got some government support, which is feels like it's propping up that US market. We've seen European butterfat prices starting to drift up a little bit. They're not running away, but they're they're firmish, and then Oceania is a whole nother level again. So demand strong, in particular out of China, and keeping these southern hemisphere prices extremely firm. I'm not sure whether we've got to come down or US, Europe got to come up, but there is still some global disparity there, and we'll see how that plays out. Domestically we're seeing product available, prices coming up slowly, but not reaching these GDT levels that we've seen. On to cheddar mozzarella. Now, we've seen in the EU mozzarella pricing sort of popped up about 6 or 7% sort of month on month, so solid demand there. Not so much from food service, but through the retail side of things, and the comments are around people working from home, and would you believe, eating more cheese either for breakfast and for lunch. So that's certainly offsetting some of that reduced food service demand in the EU. Oceania prices are still reasonably buoyant. That GDT platform up again slightly on some smaller volumes. We are seeing reasonable demand domestically here. That pizzeria market, etc., seems to be reasonably good. Food service demand okay. In the US, once again, I've commented that government support assisting over there, and also exports out of that market back into the sort of southern hemisphere happening. So cheese, reasonably balanced. Once again, 3 different milk pools and 3 different stories really, but reasonably balanced for the moment. I'll round this out with whey and lactose. The carbohydrates still reasonably strong, probably off a little bit, but still at high levels, strong demand and quite high prices. We've also seen the protein WPC market in particular starting to come up on solid demand, gyms reopening, and that nutritional piece in a pandemic. So that rounds out Maxim's Inside Track. Have a great fortnight, and I'll talk to you in a couple of weeks.